Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another session on logic development. We plan to discuss the assignment that was given to you, wherein I wanted you to break it down into modules, functions. So all those who have solved it, please submit your assignment. I can see Ashish submitting one. How about others? Others who have made an attempt, please submit your solution so that we can discuss it. Is it only Ashish who has solved it? Others haven't yet solved? Then what I need to do is I need to put it all into groups, and to do that, while we and I and Ashish will only discuss it. Yes, Sanjay, Sagar, Prithviraj, Monika, Harsh, Bhagyashri, क्या हुआ? Shweta? That's not good. You cannot become a programmer by watching others write code. You cannot learn to swim by just sitting on the sideways uh, and watch people swim in the river or in the tank. That will not happen. You have to take the chance. You have to jump into the water to learn to swim. Let's see what has Ashish done. So we had three major questions that were given, sub questions which were given. Because one was to produce the reader by age groups as follows. This was the range which were given. Then again, the readers within the age group, wherein we have to specify how many are males and female in each of that group. And third was based on income. So let's see what has Ashish done now. So he says constant number of readers, that is 1,000, because there were 1,000 readers as an assumption. Age of the reader, gender of the reader, marital status, annual income, constant number of gender groups, number of age groups, then this age group, number of income groups, and then income groups, and so on. Okay. So he has accepted call accept age. Method means when you start, avoid giving the first letter as uppercase. Avoid doing that. So we have accept age, accept gender, accept marital status, accept annual age, annual income. So he runs a for loop which runs for that many number of readers. So if you have 1,000 readers, this for loop will run for 1,000 times from 0 to 99999. And for each of that reader, you will accept the age, the gender, the marital status, and the annual income. So it's calling the function every time. Let's see whether this function is the right approach to go ahead with. Marital status, here is a group variable here, annual income, okay, gender and age. Okay. So he calls a function accept age. So let's go to a function called as accept age. There is no need for you to do this. We can.
Sir, comments is
Okay, but there is no need to do that.
yes.
So here you have a function called as accept age, integer index. Now there is a problem here. Okay, that was a good thing that you did it. Now in this particular function called as accept age, you are referring to a variable called as age of reader. Does it know what is age of reader, Ashish?
So yeah, it don't know, sir.
So that will not be possible for you to do that. Except here, this is the command that you are saying accept and age of the reader. This array is not available. So what change we have to do?
We have to pass that array as a parameter.
You will have to pass that array also as a parameter. So here, reader counter is the one. Reader counter is the index that you are passing. And the first thing we'll have to pass is what is that array that you're using? Age of reader. So you have to pass two things, age of reader. You have to pass two things, age of reader and age. So once you pass age of the reader, that means inside this array, at this position, you would like to store the value. Correct, Ashish?
Yes, sir.
So here again, we'll have to have that array. Integer, and the array was age of reader. So here we can just say empty brackets just to specify that's an array. In algorithm, we said integer array, so and so. Here we can just put square brackets. just to specify it is an array, not a regular variable. And then this array will be accessible over here. So integer index, please enter the age of the reader in years, except at this location, index, whatever index, first time for the index is value 0. At the 0th location, we'll accept the age of the reader and we return the array. Okay, this array returning was not required. Since you have passed it, changes made will be reflected. Then you're going to call to accept gender. So you're calling these functions, 4 functions, 1000 times. Okay. So for every reader, you're accepting the age, accepting gender, accepting marital status, accepting annual income. Okay. So I could do one more level over here, Ashish. What I would do is this for loop that we have. Okay, for a moment we'll keep it as it is. But in this second array, accept gender, you will have to pass gender of the reader. That array will have to pass gender of the reader and the reader counter. So when we say gender of the reader and reader counter, here we go. We have gender of the reader, and that's an array of type integer. So I'll say integer. Name gender of the reader integer is having. Yes, array
String is a
string. So string gender of the reader. We'll just start this with small case name. Accept gender of the reader. Rest you do not return.
सर रिटर्न करने की जरूरत नहीं है.
नहीं, because
तो हो
आप जो
जाएगा.
पास करे उसी में आप चेंजेस कर रहे हैं. कल भी हमने देखा है, and almost languages, since you know some languages, data structures like arrays are passed by references, so don't have to worry. Changes made to the array will be reflected in the original array.
Okay.
That's
फिर
only for
सर
arrays, not for other variables.
फिर चारों एक्सेप्ट का एक ही फंक्शन बन सकता है.
That's the next thing you could have done. But चारों accept करने के लिए आपको चारों array pass करने होंगे.
Yes sir.
Okay, so that's the next level of decomposition that we do. So accept gender हो गया, then accept marital status. So here we have marital status of reader. That's an array. So here we say accept marital status. We pass this particular array, and we come to this accept marital status. And we have this integer array. ये कौन सा integer है string है marital status?
String is
The string. And then you ask the user to enter marital married and unmarried. You accept the status, and we come back. So fourth function. And then annual income. Now for annual income, you have annual income of reader. So you could pass this array, annual income of reader. And same thing will receive here. Integer था या real था, क्या लिया आपने?
integer.
It could have been real, huh? So this work is done. So what we have done is we have accepted details for all employees. And this is the concept of parallel arrays. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 arrays which are used in parallel. That means at the 0th location in this array, if I store Prithviraj's age, at this location I will store his gender in this array. At this same location I will store his marital status. At the same location in another array I will store his income. So that's how we have accepted the data. Now, looking at this, we can immediately understand. For this also, we could write a function saying accept data, and inside which we could pass the 4 arrays. And once you have passed the 4 arrays, you could achieve it. So there was no need for you to write a loop over here. So I could instead write something like this. Call accept reader info. So in this reader info, I'll pass the four things, but before that, I'll define I accept. Let's have this function first ready. यहाँ कौन से array pass करेंगे? All these arrays that we need. The age group, the number of, नहीं यहाँ क्या होगा? ये नहीं. From here I take age of the reader, gender of reader, marital status of the reader, and income of reader. We have four arrays that we have passed to this particular function. That's okay. We're going to accept reader's information in these aspects. यहाँ से काउंटर को डिलीट कर देते हैं. Oh, you have not defined the counter. Reader counter. We have forgot to define the counter. So we call a function called as accept reader information, in which we pass the four arrays. So four arrays are received over here. These are all arrays. So let us put brackets in front of them. You could give a short name to this array if you want. Yeah. So these are array, and we then call these various functions. So we have called a function from within a function. So we have this accept reader information from which we are calling these four functions if we really wish to. So that's further decomposition. So here we have all these variables that have been defined. We call these particular functions to get that information. Okay. Well, let's, after we accepted the data that we have seen, let's go ahead to calculate gender group, in which we pass age group, the gender of the reader, and number of reader. क्या बात है? Gender of the reader क्या है? एक array है. यानी you are passing age as well as gender and number of readers. Three things you are passing. In the first one also, we should have passed one more thing. यहाँ भी आपने पास करना चाहिए था number of readers. So you should have passed over number of readers. So here I can have this number of readers that we have defined. Now this could be quite big. This was integer age of the reader. Then gender में था ये string. Gender. ये भी string था. I'm just making it more readable. This was integer. And now we have one more element, that is integer. So these are the things that we have passed to this particular function, so that this number of readers is also accessible over here. Okay. So we know what is the size of each of this array. So when we give a call to this function accept age, we are giving reader counter. That's okay, because it will be in that range only. So don't have to bother much. Index will not be beyond that range. So now that we have accepted all the information, first part is done. We now go to calculate gender group. So we have this function called as calculate gender group. So we come over calculate gender group. Calculate gender group. We have integer age group, integer gender of the reader. These are two arrays, no? Ashish?
Yes, sir.
So we array here, so let them put into brackets. Just to make it more readable, I will just write it on separate lines. So it will just be readable. Kya pass kar rahe hain, an integer number of readers. We have minimum age group for 2, minimum age group for 5. Reader counter is a variable that we have defined. So यहाँ हमने reader counter define किया. Yeah, we have also defined reader counter. So you have reader counter in the range 0 to number of readers minus 1. Step 1. If gender of the reader counter equal to male, then gender of reader counter less than minimum age group. Then calculate age group of 0, 0 is equal to age group of 0, 0 plus 1. Okay. So you have this two branch array. क्या आपका age group?
Yes, sir. Last third line. Line number 17.
Yeah, line number 17. So we have this two branch array which is there. We have this two branch array. So let's say if gender of the reader is equal to male, then age of the reader counter less than minimum age group. The age group of 0, 0 is equal to age group of 0, 0 plus 1. Else, if age of the reader counter greater than 5, greater than equal to the fifth group, then fifth group को आपको increment कर लिया. Else, group is equal to age of the reader counter divided by 10 minus 1. Okay, that logic that we had discussed. So in that group, you store it as 1. Perfect. तो ये काम कर जाएगा. But this was if it is male. ये अगर female है, तो आपने वही age group 2, age group 5 and male. ठीक है. That means you have done the same work for male and similar work you have done for female, and you have put them correctly into the age groups. That's perfect. But yeah, Ashish, total number of people in a particular age group कैसे पता चलेंगे?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, 0 for male and 1 for female है क्या?
Yes.
Okay. So we have one array for male and another array for female.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
दो रो है.
दो रो है, correct. But इसको print कैसे करोगे? So once you have accepted, आपने accept कर लिया, कौन सा था ये एज ग्रुप, ये डिस्प्ले जेंडर ग्रुप में एज ग्रुप की एरे पास कर रहे हैं, और यहाँ दो बार एज ग्रुप का एरे पास करना होता है. ये वाला कौन सा है, इसके पे कौन सा है? आशीष, ये प्रिंट करने के लिए कौन सा है? दिस
सर आई थिंक मिस हो गया.
हाँ,
मिस हो गया सर.
मिस हो गया. Because you have done it for male, female. You have done it for income. Okay, we'll continue this particular. Because ये बहुत लिखा है आपने, I still appreciate, और इसमें हमें changes करके देखना पड़ेगा. So we have done with this. ये हो गया अपना ready. ये functions भी हो गया, accept वगैरह सारा हो गया. Now you are doing calculate age gender group. आपने मेल और फीमेल के लिए कैलकुलेट किया है. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 में आपने मेल के बारे में स्टोर किया. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 में आपने फीमेल के बारे में स्टोर कर लिया. Once you have done this, आपने ये कैलकुलेट कर लिया. अब हमें ये रिक्वायरमेंट फुलफिल करने के लिए ये और ये दोनों करने चाहिए। तो लेट्स राइट द कोड टू प्रिंट readers by age group. So we will say call after we have done so much of work. After I have done so much of work to calculate age gender group, ये आपने कर लिया है. So here I will call a function call display. First, I'll display based on their age groups.
सर
हाँ,
वो डिस्प्ले जेंडर ग्रुप में ही है, शायद मिक्स हो गया।
दोनों एक ही जगह कर दिया क्या आपने?
यस
चलो देखते हैं डिस्प्ले जेंडर ग्रुप में आपने दोनों किया है क्या है. Okay, but we just have to differentiate them. So I'll copy this code. Whereas the function should do only one specific task, जो भी task दिया गया है. Do not try and make that function perform multiple tasks.
सर, फिर नंबर ऑफ इटरेशन बढ़ जाएगा। एक फॉर
Correct.
लूप
But
और
आपको ये रिक्वायरमेंट अलग है ना. मुझे जब सर मेल्स और फीमेल्स नहीं चाहिए थे, एज काउंट ही चाहिए था, तो मुझे बिना वजह मेल और फीमेल की भी जानकारी आप दे रहे.
ओके
User need make a choice as one. Na? He is interested only in this information. So in
Yes,
this
yes.
case, was he interested in knowing how many males and females are there?
नो
So you have to, you have no choice but to do that. So display, ये आपने जेंडर ग्रुप कहा है, I will say display age groups. ये दो कहा है, नंबर ऑफ रीडर, नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स, नंबर ऑफ रीडर कहाँ दिखा रहा है? देखते कई गलती से नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स लिखा है क्या? Now we have this function. What we have passed is age group and number of readers. So don't get lost. Here I say integer age groups, a array, and integer number of readers. Then the past define group for group in the range of 0 to number of age group -1. The number of readers in the age group so and so are age group 1 are in age. Now what is age group 1? Challenge actually age group 1 is nothing but in the range of a less than 20, 20, 29. User doesn't know what is age group 1, what is age group 2. The client who is looking at the result. So here I would not write a loop actually. I will rather display the result. So I'm not gonna write the loop. I have 5 loops. So no such thing. I'll just write 5 statements over. Number of readers with age less than 20. With age less than 20 years are age group of 0 of group में ये रहेगा मेरे पहली बार 0 और ये 1,0 यानी मेल और फीमेल लेंगे बराबर आशीष ये मेल है और ये फीमेल क्या एज है
Yes.
लेस देन 20
Yes.
अब दूसरा आएगा बिटवीन 20 to 29 ना यस ये आएगा 0,1 ये आएगा 1,1 आशीष ने पूरा आंसर क्या दिया आपको समझ में आया तो अच्छी बात है इन द एज ग्रुप ऑफ 20 to 29 years किया गया ये आएगा बिटवीन 30 to 39 years तो इस प्रोग्राम के अंदर आपको एज ग्रुप 1 2 ऐसा आपने बनाया है क्लाइंट को थोड़ी ना मालूम है एज ग्रुप 1 2 क्या है उसको तो एज रेंज ही मालूम है तो यार 0,2 to 3,2 एज ग्रुप 40 to 49 ये 3 और ये 3 ये 4 with age greater than equal to 40 years greater than equal to 50 years तो ऐसे करेंगे सर and why have I done so because you say group 1 group 2 group 3 group 4 you go to group 3 क्या है मुझे मालूम नहीं it will give a clear message in this age group because this is the report that they really wanted so we have to display the message exactly in the fashion that the user is expecting so we said number of readers in the age group of 20 to 29 years are so and so in the area so and so तो आपने ये डिस्प्ले कर दिया तो ये हमने डिस्प्ले कर दिया फर्स्ट रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द यूजर हैज बीन टेकन केयर ऑफ then produce the count of number of readers by gender within the age group that is under 29 and so on. So male and female under in that particular age group is what we want. So we have this function that we have written called as display gender group. So we will call these functions immediately after that. Display gender groups. तो जेंडर ग्रुप से तो जेंडर ग्रुप से डिस्प्ले करेंगे एज ग्रुप एंड नंबर ऑफ एज ग्रुप चाहिए या नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स चाहिए आशीष
सर जेंडर ग्रुप के लिए तो 1 और 0 दिया है ना एज ग्रुप के लिए कुछ नहीं
ये नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स तो चाहिए आपको एज ग्रुप में तो यहाँ नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स चाहिए थी क्या आपको एज ग्रुप का साइज क्या था अरे दोनों थे नंबर ऑफ जेंडर ग्रुप एंड नंबर ऑफ एज ग्रुप्स
राइट
तो जेंडर 2 है और एज के ग्रुप्स 5 है तो आपने एज ग्रुप दिया है जिसके कहने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। एज ग्रुप एरे रिसीव किया, साइज तो हम लोग ट्रैवर्स नहीं कर रहे थे या डायरेक्टली हैंडलिंग इट, तो यहाँ नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स की जरूरत ही नहीं थी पास करने। इसके अंदर इसका इस्तेमाल ही नहीं कर रहे कुछ। So for those who are getting lost, we just put into, I'll just put a line in between so that we don't get lost where we are. So first we have calculated by gender and age group पास कर रहे हैं आशीष है, तो कैलकुलेट जेंडर ग्रुप में आते हैं। ये टू डांस आ रहे हैं, यस आशीष टू डांस आ रहे हैं ना इस ग्रुप,
Yes, sir.
और जेंडर ऑफ द रीडर सिंगल डांस आ रहे हैं।
Yes.
यहाँ सिंगल डांस है, ये टू डांस है तो टू डांस है एंड नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स। तो जेंडर ऑफ द रीडर नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स तक चलेगा, वेरी करेक्ट। एज ग्रुप में 0 to 4 ही चल रहे हैं हम लोग, दैट्स करेक्ट, दैट्स करेक्ट। तो यहाँ ठीक था। अब ये करिए, हमने जब डिस्प्ले एज ग्रुप किया तो उसमें सिर्फ एज ग्रुप पास किया, डिस्प्ले एज ग्रुप्स, तो एज ग्रुप्स पास कर रहे हैं तो इसमें हमें नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स की कोई जरूरत नहीं। डिस्प्ले जेंडर ग्रुप में एज ग्रुप पास किया, नंबर ऑफ एज ग्रुप्स भी पास कर रहे हैं। ये सारा कुछ इस फंक्शन के अंदर का है, तो इट शुड बी इंडेंटेड फॉर्म ऑल्सो, ऐसे आंसर now we are here display gender number of age groups आपने हैं for group in the range of, ये सारा इंडेंट करा, edit indent increase indent, और ये प्रॉब्लम डी इंडेंट डिक्लाइन। So we have a group in the range of 0 to number of age groups -1 step 1, number of readers in age group ये नहीं चाहिए, नहीं चलेगा, ये कुछ नहीं चलेगा। This line too is not required, and we will not even run through that age group array. No. We'll have to write the statements only. Group 1 कौन सा है, group 2 कौन सा है, मालूम नहीं है। So like what we have done here, we have to write those 4 statements again. Watch it. Number of male readers in the age group so and so are this much. And number of females, 8 statements आएंगे भैया। Number of females less than this are 1,0, यहाँ इतना ही डिफरेंस आएगा, ये हो गया लेस देन दिस के लिए। देन आपका है ये वाला एज ग्रुप भी है, so just copy all of them and keep it ready। अच्छा मैंने पहले कॉपी कर दिया। नंबर ऑफ मेल रीडर्स सभी number of male readers in the age group 20 to so and so are A. And female readers are this. Here we are, second group. Here, third group. नंबर एक मेल है तो एक फीमेल आएगा. Understand this is two-dimension array. One place, one dimension is storing the details of count for number each age group for male, and another place is storing count for each age group for female. That's the logic that he has applied. Age group of 0, anything is male. Age group of 1, anything is female. And that is the logic that he has used. We are almost done, although it looks like very painful. Yeah, male reader, yeah, female reader. यहाँ ये सेकंड वाला डिलीट करेंगे तो यहाँ पहले वाला डिलीट करेंगे because we anyway added male and female. The only thing reason I am required to write it because the messages are totally different. That's the reason I have to write it all over again. अगर वहाँ कहा होता एज ग्रुप 1 2 3 4 ऐसा कुछ कहा होता है then there was no issue, but there was no such mention at group वगैरह कुछ नाम दिया नहीं सो. So you'll have to give approach because this is a report that the user is actually interested in. So I will just say male. Basically, it's a third group. How does it know what is third group that you are referring to? Inside the program, you had that liberty, but while displaying it to the client, when the output is being displayed, you have to display the output in the format that the user understands. And then I don't need this format. That's how the second function will appear. Display by gender groups. Here, with gender we are displayed, and earlier we had displayed based on so we have done this, we have done this, we have done this, and we have done this. Now let's look at calculate income group. The number of readers, and income readers, and income group. Income group क्या है 4 है. इसके और यहाँ कोई जरूरत नहीं है. And you don't have an array by income group anyway. So I'll just delete this number of income groups. Number of income group का इस्तेमाल कहीं कर रहे क्या?
फिर इनकम ग्रुप में डिवाइड करके डिस्प्ले करना.
तो यहाँ पास नहीं क्या आपने?
इनकम ग्रुप पास किया.
अच्छा यही डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. ये नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स पास किया, एनुअल इनकम ग्रुप क्या, इनकम ग्रुप क्या है, ये पास किया. इनकम नंबर ऑफ इनकम ग्रुप्स नहीं पास किया.
सर उसका भी सेम लॉजिक है जैसे ये किया जेंडर वाला.
एरे डिफाइन करते समय नंबर ऑफ इनकम ग्रुप से एरे डिफाइन कर लेना. तो आपका जो लूप रहेगा उसी पे रन करेगा शायद. देखते हैं अपने लूप उसी पे रन कर रहे थे. अच्छा नंबर ऑफ इनकम ग्रुप आप पास कर रहे हैं, हम लोग ये डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. मेरा क्वेश्चन तो यहाँ क्यों नहीं पास कर रहे नंबर ऑफ इनकम ग्रुप्स. Is it required or not required? Let's check. Calculate income group. So we have minimum this reader counter for reader counter. There is number of readers है. minimum है. अच्छा income group कोई यूज ही नहीं करता तो पास करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपने क्या कहा, इंटीजर नंबर ऑफ रीडर्स, इंटीजर एनुअल इनकम ऑफ रीडर्स, ये एरे है और ये भी एरे है. This gives reader counter in the range of 0 to number of readers minus 1. Okay. Any income reader of number of readers is less than minimum income. Then calculate minimum income group is equal to plus 1. Okay. यानी less than 3 lakh वाला ग्रुप है. Reader is less than max income group. Max income group कहाँ है? अरे ये कहाँ है?
सर वो पहला वाला मेन इनकम ग्रुप 1 है.
डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा ना?
नहीं सर, डिफाइंड है, बस वो
कहाँ डिफाइन है? दोनों में डिफाइन नहीं है.
डिफाइंड मतलब मेन इनकम ग्रुप 1 ही है वो.
यहाँ भी डिफाइन नहीं है.
सर उधर ही चाहिए फंक्शन में डिफाइन जाए क्या फंक्शन. मिनिमम ग्रुप डिफाइंड नहीं है, मिनिमम ग्रुप 1 है पूरा.
नहीं, ये जो आप यहाँ यूज कर रहे हो कांस्टेंट,
वही बोल रहा हूँ
कहाँ डिफाइंड है?
सर, वो स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक है, वही बोल रहा हूँ. मिनिमम इनकम ग्रुप 1 है.
पढ़ा?
मिनिमम इनकम ग्रुप 1 है सर.
चलो 1 कहाँ डिफाइंड है?
सर है
अच्छा,
ना.
ये वाला है क्या?
हाँ ये वाला.
Okay, so annual income of the leader is less than minimum income given, less than 3 lakhs. Then calculate income group of zero is going to zero counter in this group represent this group. Else leader
सेकंड वाला मिनिमम इनकम
max है.
ग्रुप 4 है.
Max क्या है?
मिनिमम इनकम ग्रुप
4 ना?
यस.
Then 3 is equal to 3 plus 1. Okay. Annual income leader less than minimum income 3. 3 कौन सा? Less than 5 lakh. तो ये इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया. अगर ये इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया क्या गलत हुआ है? इसको लेस देन इनकम ग्रुप 3 मतलब 5 लाख है, तो लेस देन 5 लाख रहेगा तो 3 to 5. अच्छा 3 to 499 5 to 699. ये लेस देन 3 रहेगा तो
यस.
ये ग्रेटर देन 7 लाख रहेगा तो इक्वल टू 7 लाख रहेगा तो ये लेस देन मिनिमम ग्रुप 2 लेस देन 3 5 लाख यानी
32499.
तो 499 के लिए ग्रुप 1 आएगा या ग्रुप 2 आएगा?
नहीं सर, 1 आएगा.
हाँ
32499 है सर.
ये आ गया ग्रुप 0 बराबर.
यस, ये आ गया ग्रुप 1.
इस ग्रुप
1.
1 तो ग्रुप 1 कौन सा है? लेस देन 5 लाख. तो आपने लेस देन 5 लाख का क्या?
देखिए सर.
लेस देन इनकम ग्रुप 3 लेस देन 5 लाख है करेक्ट.
यस. 1.
perfect. So if else ND, if else ND, if else ND, in ND correct and for. This is done and you return. तो आपने इनकम के हिसाब से कैलकुलेट तो सही कर लिया. ये कैलकुलेट तो कर लिया. Then we are trying to display income group or number of income groups. Number of groups 3. चलते हैं संचय तो
सर सेम मिस्टेक जैसे जेंडर में किया था. ग्रुप 1 ग्रुप जेंडर में जैसे किया था ना, ग्रुप 1 ग्रुप 2 ग्रुप 3 वैसे ही करके.
अच्छा तो सेपरेट इनकम ग्रुप पूरे करना होगा.
यस यस.
तो इसकी हमें जरूरत नहीं है. count of readers in the number of readers with income less than rupees 3 lakh is calculating income group of 0.
yes sir.
अगला स्टेटमेंट क्या जाएगा?
The number of readers with income group in the range
Number of
of
readers with income group
3 lakh to 4999.
ये था ग्रुप में
Yes sir.
income group of 1. Look, if you solve this problem, take my word, you can solve any other problem that you come across. You all should have made an attempt. ये solution आपके पास था, आपको सिर्फ उसको decompose करना था. Although he has made a mistake now, but he'll never forget this mistake in his life because he has done it on his own. Between 5 lakh to 6 lakhs 999. चार ग्रुप है ना या 5 ग्रुप है?
सर 4 ग्रुप.
1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 और 4. Income 3 and then return. So it is around 160 lines code. So well done, Ashish. Very good at happening by breaking down into function. Think about it. 150 लाइन का कोड है, हम 150 लाइन भी पकड़े, ऊपर के 10 लाइन कम कर दे. 150 lines of code writing at one place, not a good idea. Now, since we are decomposed, we'll understand how to maintain each of that bit of code. You may just put some brackets in spaces in between. The line is normally recommended between two functions. You could give more, but don't give less, because what happens is otherwise then we fail to identify कौन सा function कहाँ start हो रहा है. Just add some lines. Even there is more than 150 lines. So what are we doing? We first accepting the reader's information, then we are calculating the gender group. We are actually classifying or organizing. Then we are displaying the age groups. Then we are displaying gender groups. Then we are calculating income groups. And then we are displaying the income group. And then we stop. That's a perfect code to write. Once you have done that, then we have the details as to how those operations are being performed for each of that particular function. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to share this solution with all of you. Ashish, file का नाम क्या था?
Yes.
Everybody take time and just go through the design. I'll give 5 minutes for all of you just to see that design. Just take your time out and just see the design. I'll share the file with you. We wait for 5 minutes for you to just have a look at that code from first line to last line. Just read that code. We'll continue further. Now, this is the last assignment in logic. Shouldn't go wrong. It's about rotating an array. Now, what do you mean by rotating an array? Let me help you with an example. So that once you understand the problem statement, then you can actually go ahead solving. Suppose we have 10 integers in an array, and I thought of rotating that array. Suppose we have 10 integers. Let's take this as an array. So this is an array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are 10 integers. Suppose we have accepted some values. Line color is black. Then line style is thick. And we decide to take it all borders. So these are 10 integers that we have. Let's give the index as 0, 1, 0, 1, and so on. And you may have accepted some values inside this array. You may have accepted some values inside this array. These are all the indexes. Let me reduce the font size for this index. These are an index. Let's say these are the index of the array. And then you have accepted some values inside this array. Let's say I accepted a value like 10. Value could have been anything, any random number. Huh? 5, 20, 13. It could be any number that you may have accepted. 45, 67, 44, 89, 12, 16. So these are the numbers that you have accepted inside the array. Now, if I tell you rotate this array by 5 or rotate this array by 3, then what I want, rotate the array by 3 means all elements will shifted towards right by 3. So if I'm going to shift all elements towards right by 3, ये original array था, ये आपने यहाँ रख दिया. So after rotating it by 3, okay, after rotating by 3, so here I say after rotating this array by 3. Now, array is not circular, so there is no question of rotating. But then in that case, what I want is this 16 should go 1, 2, 3 positions. 16 should come here. So if 16 comes here, then where will 12 go? 12 will go to 1, 2, and 3. So 12 comes here. Where will 89 go? 89 comes here. 89 comes here. Then if 16 comes here, 89 goes there. What will come at 89's position? So 89 position is this. Huh? What will come at this position? So if 89 has come here, 89 is gone there. So here I'll have 44. Here I'll have 67. Here I'll have 45. That means you're shifting all of them by 3 positions. Or rotate by 3. Here I'll have 20. Here I'll have 5. And here I'll have 10. So this will be the result be after rotating the array by 3. So this is my ultimate result that I have. And this result has been arrived after rotating this array by 3. So if this was the original array, this is the state of the array after rotating it by 3. So have you understood this problem? Solution. मैंने आपको 3 पोजीशन आगे शिफ्ट करना है. 1 कहा तो 1 पोजीशन आगे शिफ्ट करना है. 5 कहा तो 5 पोजीशन आगे शिफ्ट करना है. Have you understood the problem, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So take down the question. Rotating means you're going to shift. If I say rotate by 1, 16 is at the 9th position. Here, if this is the original array. If I say rotate by 1, 10 0 position पे है ना, तो 10 1 पे आएगा, 20 आ जाएगा. That means if I rotate by 1, this array that we have will get stored from this position onwards. ऐसे store होगा. और जो last element 16 है, ये कहा जाएगा, तो ये यहाँ आ जाएगा. यानी सारे numbers have been shifted 1 position towards right. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So this is rotate by 1, while this was rotated by 3. But now depending on the user choice, you're going to write a function first. or do whatever you would like to. So rotate clockwise by n position. So take on the question. Accept 10 integers in an array. Accept 10 integers in an array. And rotate the array clockwise. Prithviraj, are you writing the statement? Yes, Prithviraj. Prithviraj, are you writing?
Yes, yes.
What have you written? Yes, please. I'm teaching for more number of years than what your age is. Have that in mind. Okay, all of you. So none of you must have been born in 1999, and since then I have taken up teaching as my full-time career. So I can very easily pick out just by looking at anybody's face also, whether you are solved, not solved, whether you are telling me the truth or whatever it is. So please don't try and fool me. Okay. So take down the question once again. Accept 10 integers in an array and rotate the integers in array clockwise by a given number. By a given number. By a given number. So that's the problem statement. Now you all are, first you are looking at clockwise, then you can take it as an assignment to rotate it anti-clockwise also. That logic also you could think. But for currently, I'm only interested in clockwise rotation. So I'm going to break you all into rooms. So you all have been put into various rooms.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Pseudocode or algorithm?
Louder.
Pseudocode or algorithm? क्या लिखना?
आपकी choice. Your choice. एक मिनट. Pseudocode or algorithm ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. Pseudocode is an algorithm. Flowchart या pseudocode भी सकते हैं. Because there are two ways to represent algorithm. Either pseudocodes या flowchart. Okay. And both are algorithms. They both are algorithms. So let's break out into rooms and make an attempt to solve this particular question. Yeah, rooms are open for everybody. Not to search for a solution on internet. That's the first advice. Otherwise, you'll always come up with some people giving ideas as to how to rotate and so on. But the best part would be if you all take time to discuss the solution on your own. So that will give you the best understanding as to how to, it will boost your confidence in a much better way. So instead of you asking somebody, you amongst yourself, you can very well discuss. But it would not be appropriate for you to Google out and see the result. So I'll leave it, stop the session over here today. And I would expect you all to meet tomorrow probably. All can come together if possible, discuss it and try and solve. So before you go to bed today, just think about an idea as to how it can be done. The only precondition is, I'll repeat, it's an in-place rotation. That means you are not allowed to use another array. That is a condition. So keeping that condition in mind that you are not allowed to use another array, think about it. So we can stop over here today. It's quite late, but tomorrow when you meet, decide upon a time, talk to Monica madam, decide upon a time, meet together and solve it. You will feel very good about yourself if you can do it on your own. So if you can do clockwise, also do it anti-clockwise. So now I give you a question where it says clockwise rotation. So write another function where you can do the rotation anti-clockwise. Same logic with that. Do you want me to give you a hint or you will figure it out?
Yes, sir. कर लेंगे.
कर लेंगे. Okay. So no hint?
No, sir.
Hint चाहिए?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay. And it's actually very simple. Okay. It's just like you have to figure out कि last से पहले पे कैसे आना है. Just focus on that aspect. छोट एक light hint दे रहा हूँ. How do I come from the last element to the first element? How do I not go beyond the bounds of an array? 0 से कम नहीं होना चाहिए और max से ज़्यादा नहीं जाना चाहिए. 10 के array तो 9 के आगे नहीं जाना चाहिए. Just think on that. Your problem is solved. Nothing else to be done. Very easy in that case. So with that hint, okay, I could give a much better hint, but then I think this much is enough. So think in this direction. How do I ensure that the index that I take do not go beyond the bounds of an array while I'm writing a loop? So think about it. And after otherwise it's just replacing the elements. It's very simple in fact. So it's a simple problem statement. It's not difficult. It's just slightly tricky. So take your time out. Talk to Monica madam. Fix a time. Meet together. Solve it. You'll feel good about yourself. Yes, problem solved. So these are kind of questions you will come across in any interviews. So we are doing those exercises so that even before you start learning languages, you know the tricks, you know the ways to do it. And we can discuss thousands of problems, and in interview you asked something else. So problems will always come up which are new. But if you have that thinking attitude, ability, then you can think about any new problem statement also that comes in front of you. So that would not be a challenge. Now you are very comfortable with the routine tasks, accepting, displaying, those things you are very comfortable. These are routine tasks. And there will be only 10% of the task which is challenging in every project. So think about how do you rotate this array. Promise that you will not Google out to search for the solution. There will be a number of people who will give you solutions for it. Do it on your own. That's the best way to learn. On that note, we'll stop here today. See you on Tuesday. We will not be having session on Monday. See you on Tuesday. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Sir, Sagar's राहिला तर आपला.
Sagar has secured how much? 86. How much was it? Monica?
87, sir.
87.
Fantastic score, Sagar.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations to you from all of us over here. And friends, you can also congratulate Sagar. 87% is quite a nice score. So congrats, Sagar. Once again.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So what do you have? What are you planning, Sagar, next?
GE mains and advance.
Okay, you are preparing for it. Good.
Yes, sir.
So all the best for that as well.
Thank you, sir.
So Sagar is starting early. So look, आप लोग second year, first year में है, and these young guys are going to be competing you. तो आपको बहुत मेहनत करनी है because there is next generation who is there ready to compete with you. तो अगर आपको लगता है कि आप भी prepare कर रहे हो, these people are starting early, so they have an advantage of 2 years before you. So by the time you settle down, these will be coming geared up, ready with all the armor and weapons. They are ready. They will all have all the knowledge. So there is a huge competition that is there, and Sagar is not the only person who is starting early. There are so many of them who will be starting early. So throughout your life in this domain, IT career, we always have to keep ourselves updated. So learning never stops over here. And as your age grows, actually it's more challenging to keep ourselves updated. Because the next generation, suppose today I have to keep up with you all, so I'll have to learn all the new technologies because you'll be working on new technologies. So IT is very demanding. People feel like these are very highly paid or unduly highly paid. Actually, it is very demanding as well. The only thing is it's not physical stress, it's mental stress. And it's so much of a challenge. Every day I have to learn. Okay, it's every day. Even today morning, I was discussing with some people. 5:30 in the morning, we started with the session. So 5:30 to 8:30, 3 hours we were discussing implementation for a solution. So like you are stuck, even people like we also get stuck. And our solution is still incomplete. We have given ourselves 7 days to think over. So next Saturday, we're going to meet again to solve a problem. Our problem was, I'll just share with you what we are trying to implement in the morning. We have a very select group of people. We are trying to implement keyboard scanner. Means any key which I press on the keyboard, it should be captured. So my program should identify what key has been pressed. So if I press space, it should tell space bar pressed. If I press enter, it should say enter pressed. If I press Q, it should be Q pressed. Normally what happens in our program is, even in Flowable, when you give an input, you have to press enter to tell the system input has been accepted, correct? Here, this is not. In gaming, you don't do that. In gaming, you press your up arrow, down arrow, lower arrow key. But while we do that, there are ready-made APIs which some gaming applications provide. We were trying to implement our own API, which we provide as a service. So it can identify any key which has been pressed on the keyboard. And these kind of programs are best written to assembly, C and C++. So we wrote it to a certain extent where we could identify all the keys. Our next challenge was to paginate. Paginate means if I'm displaying some output, it should display on the console. If my console is 20 lines, it should stop at 20 lines. If it is 40 lines, it should display 40 line contents. So if the console size changes, the amount of content that is displayed on the page should also change. So that is what we are working on, and we are struggling still. And hopefully, so I'm telling you that you need to prepare. So likewise, we also need to prepare. We have given ourselves 7 days time to think over. So next Saturday, people like me and the other team members will sit together once again with their own ideas and will complete the operation of page generation. If I could complete it, I will also showcase it to you. Today, what we completed only keyboard scanner. We could only scan which key is being pressed. Operating system has support. So we are trying to create our own library to do that operation, which could be implemented in modern CDP. So likewise, you should keep yourself giving challenges and not necessarily can and figure out. My team members are even senior than me, having more experience than me. I was among the younger people in our team. Think about it. And still we could not finish the task. And even 3 years working, 3 hours we were working and we couldn't complete it. We only completed a part of it, like you completed Excel. So don't get disheartened, carry complete new. With all these years of experience, we couldn't complete a task. And we have given ourselves some time, not that we'll relax. We'll think, I'll make the modifications. तो कल आप भी सोचो, कल मिलने के पहले आप में से किसी ने कोड रेडी करके आए, that's best. But not to go to Google and then do it. You should come with your own unique ideas. Okay, so do that. Meet tomorrow, complete the solution, and see you on Tuesday. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.